Welcome back to Sweet Tea, Hot Topics with Rashika. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a fantastic weekend and looking forward to the tea because it was getting a little hot. It was getting a little hot last week. It was getting a little hot over the weekend, and we're going to have to let this one go, okay? We're going to have to let this one go. Now, Bethenny Frankel is back in the news, and I know you are not surprised, okay? I'm going to try to make this my last time talking about Bethenny Frankel. May not be, but today, this is the tea, okay? So she's back in the news, and many of you probably have already seen where she has had a conversation or having some conversations with some big folks about making some changes. Can we all view this as she's making some changes, okay? So this all came about because she, I believe, is now on the outside looking in and saying that, hey, we need some restructuring, okay? There's some things that may need to be fixed, okay? And I think she's looking more in terms of, setting a precedent for the people that are up to come next, okay? But you folks out there, everybody out there is talking junk. Got a lot of stuff to say. There's lots of chatter about her stance, okay? And I think that a lot of this is misdirected. I think a lot of it is maybe because people really don't understand film and television or how these productions go. And I really believe that she is now on the outside and looking in. So she really, I'm trying to say this the right way without coming across like, girl, let me tell you. But I really do think that people need to kind of back down a little bit. Now, as I said in my last show with Bethenny Frankel, where I was talking about her and some of the things that she was doing, because I don't really like to talk about Bethenny on the show. She's not on the show. But I really like to talk about how she is she's still like a light in the franchise, though she's not a part of the franchise anymore. She's really been, to me, for me, a person that decided to use her platform for positivity. Though that's not how people are looking at it. That's not how people understand it or view it. Okay? You got to think about it, because a lot of people have been saying, you knew what you were signing up for and they knew what they were signing up for. You knew that you signed documents. You knew that what the show was about. But I don't really believe that any of the women knew how the show was going to evolve and how it was going to grow and how it was going to be this fast moving train, and all that was going to come with it. And so I feel like Bethenny really is or I should say, the only person who kind of stepped out and said, you know what? Yes, I did enjoy the show. I did make money on the show. I did have a good time while I was on the show. I was probably toxic while I was on the show. But hey, now that I'm off the show and I'm taking a step back and I'm looking at some of the stuff that is happening, this ain't right. This just ain't right. And I always say, whenever you have a huge platform, if you can use that platform for negativity, you can also use that platform for positivity, okay? And a lot of you out there are like, she's just this wealthy woman now who's made her money from the show, and she would never be anything without the show, and now she wants to just start to try to tear people down. Not right. Not right. Let me back you up and let me correct you on that one, okay? All right, I just want to help out just a little bit, okay? On this here fine Monday. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Bethenny first came on the show, yes, she talked about her 800 or 8,000 or whatever dollars she had. But I don't know if you guys remember, Bethenny was selling cookies and baked goods in like the farmer's market or the fresh market or whatever store it was. She was on the hustle. She was on the grind. And remember the conversation that she had where she was in the argument and she was like, is she a chef? And no, she's not a chef. And Ben Simone was talking about her being a chef and she's not a chef and she's just a cook and that sort of thing. Back in the day, that's when Bethenny was going to people's houses and she was doing like private, she was a private chef for like these celebrities and stuff. So we can't really say that Bethenny wouldn't be who she is today, specifically without the show. I really believe that she would have been successful without the Housewives. But, however, excuse me, I do believe that she saw an opportunity and she took it. Why wouldn't you? You would. I would. Just think about it. You're on a show and you become a large, loud voice for the show, and people are giving you all of this money for the show. And as she said, the more vile I was, the more talkative I was, or the more excitable I was, I got paid more and more money. Okay. She used the platform. Once she left the platform, she had a talk show and a clothing line and Skinny Girl, and who wouldn't? I mean, if you're going to use the show to say all of this stuff and get into these arguments with people, why not market a brand? Like, I don't know if people are getting this or understanding this or whatever, but a lot of these people did not come on these shows as millionaires. And Bethenny is one of those people. And as she disclosed, I was on and off the show and 3 times and offered to come back. But her not coming back on the show and saying, you know what, I'm not going to go back on the show. Instead, I'm going to use my platform to see if I can maybe make a change, to see if I can probably inspire a safer place for women. And yes, now they're saying that they could have a mental health person, to be on the show and that sort of thing. I like the idea of a safer place. I mean, we all want a safer place and environment to work. It's just that I truly believe that it's the fact that Bethenny is a wealthy woman now, and she came on the show and used her platform and market a business and has become very wealthy. People are just like, stop, sit down. You're only doing this because you just want to rip people to shreds, and now you got your money and this and this and that. But if you've not paid attention to the show, and if you've not paid attention to Bethenny's world, again, I'll say it like I said it in my last taping. She has never done anything just like anybody else, and she's always done things her way. And I really feel like this is another, just another time of us. Sorry, this is just another time where we get to see Bethenny do things her way. And just like with the strike that's been going on for some months now, we now have a change. They're now in communication with trying to go in a more positive direction. Without the strike, would we have been in this position? I doubt it. So there are going to be times in our lives, just like Bethenny Frankel, where we are a part of things and we step outside of it and we go, you know what? No, I don't know. I know I was a part of that, but it's not right. You know what I'm saying? Or there was some things about that I really don't agree with. And you're going to have to be bold enough to stand up and say, okay, I did it. Now I see that it wasn't right. I'm in the position to be able to do something about it. And let's see what we can make happen. And I'm also really glad that she came back and clarified the fact that no, she is not suing anybody. And she's not trying to pull anybody down. And she's not trying to just be the wealthy woman who now has a platform and she's trying to be like a Karen or whatever people are saying. I really think we as women should all really be proud of this type of stance, because to me, it shows your true self. It shows your authentic self, whereas you see a problem and you're making a stance for change, but change in a positive way. Again, everybody was for Bethenny and loved her to death when she was screaming and yelling at people and getting into arguments with Ramona and Luann. Everybody loved her. That's how she built a name for herself, being very witty and having a very quick comeback. So I find it very, I don't know, it should be alarming that we have gravitated so much towards drama and the icky of it all that's kind of wrapped around it, that we can't even see or appreciate the good. I mean, like, okay, remember how the housewives normally play out? At this point, not sure if you guys understand it or not, but at this point, the show has taped and 6 months have gone by. And many of the women, especially who don't like each other, as I said before, they're on the left, on the right, and they're separated. And they hate each other. And so all of the real and the real and true and raw, emotions come out then. We get to see their true selves. We get to see how they really feel about each other, okay? It is very icky. It is uncomfortable, but we watch and we are there. And we are tuned in from start to finish, okay? We are so attached to the drama that when somebody comes out and actually says what we're thinking, like, ooh, that was a lot. Ooh, that was terrible. I don't even know how they were allowed to say that. It's like they're doing too much. So, as I said in the very beginning of this, you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to hopefully see Bethenny in Bethenny's world. You're gonna have to not view her as just one of the other housewives. She ain't gonna do stuff your way. She has learned how to use a platform. I think she is a boss when it comes to how to utilize a platform, and you gotta give her that, okay? So if you are watching this and you're really upset with her and you're like, I hope that after watching this, you like, I see where she's coming from. I may not even love Bethenny. I may not even like her. But if there's ever a time where I am in a situation where I see something that's just not right, I hope I'm bold enough to come out and do what she did. But that's how I am. I have left organizations because of racism. I have left organizations because I am a child advocate and I see that children are not being treated fairly. And if you don't want me to say anything, then I don't want to be a part of the organization. I'm just going to call it out. That's how I always have been, and I don't plan on changing. And I hope Bethenny doesn't either, whether people like it or not. Okay, so I want you to just make sure you come on back for Hot Topics, because I am going to be chatting about Southern Charm. Now, remember, I told you that I had to find out how Taylor and Madison and that whole thing with the did they not or did they. We're going to talk about if they did or not. All right, we'll talk later on Hot Topics.